An aspiring doctor who nearly drowned after being pushed into a Louisiana lake states that he has no ill will towards the friend who shoved him in and claims he wants to set the record straight about the scary episode. Quote, I don't think anyone did anything intentionally wrong. Gilbert and about 10 friends were hanging out and drinking at Rhett's Tails and Shells, a restaurant in Farmville, Louisiana. His buddy and co-worker, Cassidy Holland, and Gilbert began joking around. He stated, quote, I took my keys, wallet, and phone out of my pockets and took my shoes off. I knew Cassidy wanted to push me in for messing with her, so I kind of played into it. I thought maybe the water wouldn't be as deep, and I would kind of hit the ground, get my footing, and shoot up and come back up and grab the pier and just stand there. And the water ended up deeper than we thought and being a lot colder than we thought. According to a police report, Gilbert was underwater for no more than 5 minutes, with a witness estimating the amount of time at more like 3 or 4 minutes. Friends tried to save him, but panicked when they couldn't. Eventually, restaurant customer Dawson Faust noticed the commotion and drove in and saved Gilbert. Several people performed CPR on the dock. Police also stated that Gilbert was breathing on his own and had a heartbeat. He was rushed to a nearby hospital and later airlifted to LSU Oxnard Shreveport, where he spent nearly 3 weeks on life support before being released. Quote, the on-duty nurse stated that the standard operating procedure for drowning victims is to put them on a vent for a while so that their bodies can heal faster. The report also mentioned that just one day after the incident, Gilbert was responding to commands by ICU staff. The shove made headlines after Gilbert's distraught mother, Yolanda George, claimed that the pre-med student was brain dead and his organs are starting to fail after he was pushed into the water and stayed there for about 10 minutes. A family lawyer later made insinuations that the shove was racially motivated. Quote, I kind of hate the claims about me being brain dead or this attempt for it to be some sort of race issue. He's also concerned about the quote brain dead claim because he said, who would want a doctor who has suffered brain damage? Holland, age 22, insisted she and others attempted to save Gilbert, stating that, quote, I would never try to hurt him. Chris is a beautiful person, my coworker and dear friend. I'm so thrilled at his recovery and getting back to normal. Gilbert also dismissed claims from attorney Claudia Payne, who was hired by his family, that they were seeking to arrest Holland. Gilbert stated, quote, that's completely false. He reunited with his friends, including Holland, within 2 days after returning home. Quote, there's a lot of relief and I felt like it was very emotional. His new attorney, Aaron Lawrence, stated that they don't plan to press any charges against Holland or the restaurant and stated that some of George and Payne's statements were reckless. Quote, this has been a prime example of how sharing information without common sense has made an already bad situation so much worse. Gilbert, who graduated a pre-med from Louisiana Tech last year, started a GoFundMe this week to help cover his medical expenses. As of Friday, he raised almost $20,000 of his total $50,000 goal. But the bill for the flight lift to the hospital alone was nearly $65,000, according to Lawrence, who estimated that Gilbert's total medical expenses could run up to as much as $300,000. Gilbert plans to return to his bartending job as soon as next week and continue studying for the MCAT exam next year. Quote, I want to thank everyone for their support and their prayers. Yo, some people are just so brainwashed. This is why whenever I've done videos like this before, I didn't really have any sympathy because, you can't save everybody. You got some women out here in the black community that are far too hard-headed, don't want to listen. And you have a lot of black men out here that are far too hard-headed to listen. This man learned a lesson and he's up there talking about, oh, well, we planned this, we did this, and, we didn't really assess the situation, but we knew the risk. Who is we? Because last time I checked, your black ass was the only one that's in the hospital. The only one that got airlifted. The only one that was in a coma. The only one that was in the water for what, 4 to 10 minutes? And then it took for somebody outside of your party to come assess the situation and get your ass directly out of the water, some of which none of your friends did, but you still consider these people your friends. And then on top of that, you got to raise money in order to deal with your medical bills, but yet none of your friends are trying to help foot that bill. Nobody's giving you any type of money out there, and they said that your lawyer stated that it could be in excess of up to 300 grand because just the hospital lift by itself is about 65 grand by itself. And then you got the nerve to still be taking pictures with people, and then you got the nerve to still be trying to defend her, and then you swap the lawyers because automatically you didn't what, want to throw her in jail for attempted murder, because that's what it was. Because like I said before, you're not going to tell me nobody in that party knew how to swim. You're not going to tell me that, oh yeah, it was a, a strong rip current. That's the reason that we weren't able to, to really sit up there and get them. It was just stormy and windy. Boats were just, sinking all over. It wasn't like some type of pirate tale from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's not what we're dealing with. You were in one area at a restaurant, what have you. You and your friends are out there. You sat up there and played a joke or whatnot or whatever on her. So you assume that she was going to, in a sense, get you back. And then magically she pushed you in. I'm not sure if you're able to swim or not, or how this basically works, or if you hit your head on a rock like Goku. But supernaturally, you ended up unconscious in the water. And then everybody was doing what? Running around like chickens with their heads cut off? Were they trying to, plot and write a diagram and trying to, build a ladder to get directly to? What was specifically going on? Because for me, when I'm reading through the whole article, I never felt a sense of urgency when it dealt with the friends. It was just like, okay, well, he fell in the water. He's probably just playing around. He'll get up, right? There was no sense of urgency to just dive in and check to make sure that he's okay. You mean to tell me that every single person there just freaked out to the point where they just lost mental consciousness and they were just staring into the abyss while your life was dwindling down because your brain was losing oxygen by the second? Really? And then you got the nerve to switch lawyers and then body block for this girl as if she did not have anything to do with why it is that you were. Like I said before, you can't help some people. You just can't. As somebody older than me had basically stated, black people love pain. Because if they didn't, they would start to fix themselves and get on the right path. But due to the effect of black people loving pain so much, they're going to have to suffer more and more and more pain up until they gain common sense. And this is clear cut one of those stories. Clear cut one of those stories. You got somebody that literally attempted to take you out for whatever reason. Don't know what it could have been. But here we are. Here we are. Like I said, you can't help some people. He likes it. I love it. Like I said, I don't got nothing to sit up there and tell you. You don't want to listen to your family. You didn't want to listen to the first lawyer. So like I said before, carry on the same way that you've been carrying on. Hopefully everything works out for you because you're going to have a field of debt because you're going to be working as a bartender for a lot of years in order to sit up there and pay off whatever debt that you have. Because you're going to be working a standard issue bartender job. On top of that, you still going to school, probably what you got to pay for as well. On top of having that debt and having to pay money out of pocket or however that's going, then you also got the debt dealing with your medical expenses. So you got all of this stuff going on while your friends are just living scot-free, still, drinking and partying, going to and from. Because I promise you, during the point in time that this man was unconscious, people were still out there living their lives. They were still going out, still having dates. Nobody decided to stop their life because this dude was unconscious and organs potentially failing and potentially suffering brain damage or anything like that. Like I said, whatever he went through, he's not going to understand and know the depths of the injuries that he suffered up until later on. A lot of the things are not going to show up. It's not going to be apparent. But you'll sit up there and see him later on. And then when he has to face that moment in time that it's like, man, this really actually messed me up, it ain't going to be nothing he can do. You ain't going to be able to go back and try to sue people or try to blame people. Because in your own statement that you made to the public, you said that we planned this. We did this. We assumed this. We were wrong. You kept saying we. That's it. That's it. We little piggies. That's all you kept saying. So you took any and all responsibility really off of her and tried to pin it on yourself, which is crazy because you didn't push yourself in the water. Somebody else did. This is almost like that exact same girl who was a teenager where they were on this bridge over this little creek, river, whatever you want to call it. And the girl decided to just heave ho push the girl directly down into the water. That's the exact same thing that happened here. But like I said before, you can't tell nobody nothing. People learn. And some people love pain more than others. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.